I'm sure everyone else doesn't have to rush like this. Oh, I see I've got a wife screaming, a child in the car, but I've got my coffee. Reason for the rush? An emergency 5-year-old's birthday party. Good party, Jasper? Good. You like a good party, don't you? Don't blame you, I like a good party. Right, jump in for me. Now it's just a quick bit of emergency shopping, and then I think we're going to have some fish and chips. Because this was one of those parties where they feed the children, but not the adults. Which I think is basically all 5-year-olds' birthday parties.
Yeah, we need to get used to that, don't we?
Oh sorry, are we not supposed to tell Jasper that you're eating? So whilst I upload yesterday's video, and Soph's just going to nip to the shops and get some milk, actually for coffees primarily, I'm going to talk a little bit today about what I see as the ultimate future of energy generation and how that energy gets moved around and consumed on planet Earth. And this kind of follows on a bit from yesterday's video where I was talking about the fact that there's plenty of energy around the place in the form of, you know, solar principally, and therefore there's no problem if some of that is used for, say, launching big friendly rockets. Do you like rockets?
Yeah.
You're a maniac. I uploaded an entire vlog post while you just left me with a bored child.
He wasn't bored though, was he?
Yeah, well, yes, he was climbing all over the centre bit of the car and just generally causing...
Then?
Well, because I couldn't, because it was uploading on 4G, and if I call you, then the 4G ends and the upload takes an hour.
Now, I just thought it's much quicker if I run around.
Yeah, it is. Now we get to go eat food, so you know what, it's all good. I am so full. We have eaten the most ridiculous amounts of food, haven't we, Zoe? I think Sunday's going to be kind of my chill day. Yeah, we'll have a sort of nice, relaxed vlog post on Sunday. I mean, last Sunday, my vlog post was so relaxed I didn't actually shoot it. We're going to do a bit better than that today, though. Okay, so we're just about to, well, I am just about to take Jasper up. That's one of the things we're sort of doing. Soph's going for the sort of nighttime routine Friday and Saturday, and then I'm going to do it on Sunday so that she can concentrate on getting ready for the week at work. And it's kind of a similar thing for me in the vlog, as in I definitely need one day which is a little easier, and when I get everything all sorted out, that one day is going to be a kind of Q&A type session, I think. Try and get a bit more interactive with it. But until I get my head around actually doing that, let's have a quick natter about my future of energy vision. Because as I said yesterday, there's more than enough solar out there, and that's without throwing into the mix things like wind and wave and tidal and geothermal, which can all play a very significant part as well. But there is one thing that you need with most of these renewable energy sources, and that is some way to store the power and some way to move it around. So I think the ultimate end result for energy is going to be lots of solar panels, lots of distributed micro generation systems, all renewable of course, all tied together with a smart grid that can shunt power from where it's overproduced to where it's underproduced in a seamless, intelligent fashion. And then I think you're going to have large conduits of energy that is going to be transported from continent to continent, and I think that's probably going to wind up being superconducting transport of power. That kind of makes sense to me. On a large scale, something like superconducting starts to be worth it. So you could have a comparatively thin superconductive wire, which you will have to chill to like outrageously cold, but you lie that under the ocean floor, and then you can pump down a continent's worth of power when needed, say if the sun goes down and that continent produces most of its power from solar power. Or it doesn't have a lot of storage there, which is the other part of the puzzle, of course. What reduces the need to move power around is being able to store it in fairly large quantities at the point where it's generated. And that's batteries. One of the main reasons why I've always thought that electric vehicles really herald the future of energy for us. Not because they allow you to sort of get from A to B. That's actually Soph's milk. Oops. This is not good. I'm messing up the coffee. Hang on. Uh-oh. Shh, don't tell Soph about this. I think I saved the situation on Soph's milk. Just. EVs basically enable the design and production of really high capacity, relatively cheap lithium-ion batteries, and they can be then repurposed when they're finished in cars or custom made specifically for the job of storing renewable energy. You add that into the mix along with being able to move power around and then just power everything from renewable energy. We'll have more available power than we need for anything sensible. That's the way it looks to me at any rate, and I think it's quite a hopeful future, because it's not a kind of we need to scrimp and save and be careful with what we do kind of future. We have to be careful with resources. You know, we don't want to cut down all the trees or mine all the iron and make a big old mess of the place. So we need to reuse that sort of thing, which again can be done. Life is a just add power problem. Once you've got the access to large quantities of energy, you can basically do anything, whether that's pulling CO2 out the atmosphere to create methane for rockets, recycling lithium-ion batteries, or creating them in the first place. You know, it's like literally there's no limit to what can be done with a bit of human ingenuity and a lot of energy. Jasper is to bed now, Soph's on the running machine, and I'm wrapping things up for today. Just as sort of a final thought, I know that this is a big shift. This is not like changing from incandescent light bulbs to LED light bulbs. This is massive scale changes to the way the infrastructure of the planet works. And it's going to take a long time. Probably longer than I think. I like to believe that it can pick up steam and we can get there by 2050, but it might take, you know, all the way out to 2150. But even if it does take till 2150, it's still worth doing. So I'm hopeful, you know, and I've always been hopeful about the future for humanity and what we can achieve. I don't mean to play down the challenges or make it seem like it's simple. It's hard, but if we keep a focus on what the end goal is and understand that the end goal is worth achieving, it's hopefully going to lead to abundance of energy in order for us to carry out our greatest flights of fancy, whether that's building ships to visit Mars, one day maybe even building spaceships capable of travelling to other stars, exploring the galaxy, exploring the possibilities of science and engineering on this planet, enabling people to move around the planet quickly and easily and relatively efficiently, one would hope, allowing information to flow and for people to be able to put their creativity into what they're doing. There's so many things. The world is full of possibilities and we just have to grasp them. And we kind of will by default, is the reality. I mean, that's the benefit of only having an average age of say 80 odd, is that it means there's quite a high degree of churn and you tend to have far more optimism and enthusiasm in younger generations, which means that over time things can't help but move forwards. It's just that it will take a little while, I suppose, if that's what you're going to rely on. And I think it's a shame because we can build in that direction right now. You know, we can all do our own little bit, having solar panels on the roof and batteries in the garage. The government can do their bit by updating the power networks and moving towards a smart grid, which hopefully they'll get around to doing at some point. You know, they drag their feet like crazy, it's nuts. But there's huge potential, and that's the great thing about life. Life is all about huge potential. Well, I hope you've found today's video interesting and hopefully inspiring, and If you enjoyed it, remember to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and follow me on Instagram if you don't already. And I'll see you tomorrow for the next installment of my daily vlog. Bye. Say, I love big friendly rockets.
I love big baby rockets.
Big baby rockets. Oh, I like big friendly rockets. So no, it's the family friendly version of BFR.